My name is Pasha Daniel Dugela. I was born in Glasgow and I've been an Ahmadi Muslim now for 8 years. My faith beforehand, I was brought up in the Catholic Church, not so strictly by my family, who weren't completely practicing Catholics, but that was the faith before. The part that spirituality played, I mean, we've always believed in God, and I think maybe the fact that the family stopped attending the Catholic Church over a period of time was due to the fact that actually we only believed in the one God, and there's a slightly different concept which comes from the Catholic Church, you see. Wow, how I became an Ahmadi. Well, it may surprise people to learn that in Glasgow there is actually at the time, I'd say maybe around about 1990, there was a group of young musicians who used to meet up regularly in Glasgow for various functions and things like that. And Islam books speaks about speeches on topics of spirituality used to come up all the time from different people in India, gurus and all this type of thing, and Buddhism and all these other types of religions. And Islam came through, and the type of Islam that actually came through to begin with was the 5% Nation of Islam, because some of the boys over there were actually of African origin in Glasgow. So they started showing books of Malcolm X and all the different things, and Islam suddenly took with I'd say around 20-30 a kind of core of people over in Glasgow, young men, even boys at that age, because we were 16, 17, 18 at the oldest. So over time the interest used to come and go and wane and get stronger, and eventually I got a hold of a book, The Mystics of Islam, by one Sufi scholar, and I thought, this is too deep for me, I can't read this, even though I knew there was something about Islam which was quite enticing and seemed very, very real. I was actually beginning at the end levels instead of learning the basics, but at that time I didn't know how to learn the basics or where to go to learn the basics. So after a few years again, a few more visits to places in Europe and stuff like that, I came back to Glasgow and visited the Central Mosque in Glasgow, and the reception there wasn't the greatest. There was a lot of kind of suspicion. What are these young white boys, the Glasgow boys, doing here all of a sudden with no invitation, no anything? But somehow from that day, something about Islam stuck with me, even though whether it was the kind of awe-inspiring thing of the mosque, the kind of grand mosque in Glasgow,